tea and it's hot like steam. Bruddc and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Bruddc and Kitty show. From trending news to the tales untold, spinning the wheel, let the stories unfold. Catch us in the vibe where the chatter grows, with a pair that keeps you on your toes. What's the buzz? What's the word? Spill it fast, haven't you heard? Bruddc and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Bruddc and Kitty show. Truth or dare, we're taking the leap. Stories that'll make you laugh or weep. Tune in now, let the fun explode. This is your stop, it's the Bruddc code.
Happy New Year, Kitty. How are you? Welcome, everybody.
Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to all our followers and supporters. So, Happy New Year. How are you feeling after New Year?
My New Year's resolution was to grow some hair, and what do you know? I woke up today with a full-on mop. I'm gonna have to go to the.
Yeah, you've got a rug. You've got a rug on.
I've got a proper mullet on. I'm gonna have to go to the barbers and get it trimmed. I might have to go to a fancy Tony and Guy store or something like that.
I think as well, you're losing your blonde. I hate to break it to you. The blonde's going. You're getting to that age where you're the silver fox.
Oh god, silver fox. You know, I was very tempted to do the old silver fox thing on the old beard at some stages. You know, some stage you do think about it. Maybe I'm not sure.
I will point this out to you that 50 Cent refers to P Diddy as a raccoon now.
So. Yeah, he looks rough in prison, doesn't he?
He says he got old really, really fast. You know when he's talking about him in court, he goes, he got old really, really fast. He says, and the first time I saw it, he says, you look like a raccoon in those court pictures. And that's what he was calling him. He was like a raccoon. So I will put that out there, that is maybe a nickname that you want to avoid.
Just a reminder, guys, we are live right now. BNK live on YouTube, Bruddc Entertainment on YouTube, Facebook and Rumble. This is an interactive show, guys. If you have anything to say, any sort of talking points you want to put in, you're more than welcome to come and join in. The link is in the chat. So you just go on BNK Live News. Is it BNK Live or is it BNK News? I can't remember.
BNK Live News.
Okay, BNK Live News on YouTube or Bruddc Entertainment on YouTube, Facebook or Rumble.
Only Kitty Cat. I think we're on there as well.
We are, I believe. We are. Kitty, Happy New Year. Let's say it again. What have you made of this year? What's your whole sort of, if you was to summarize 2025, what would you say?
It was a learning curve. It was a big learning curve. Through my faith, I will say this: I don't believe that anything goes wrong. I just think that we learn lessons. Yes, darling, I will do in a minute. Thank you. Yeah, and so I've learned a lot. I have learned that you can't trust people. You have to be very, 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 very careful. You've also got to be very selective with your time, and I think you've told me this time and time again, and I think you've tried to drill it into my head all through 2025. You know, you will spend a lot of time on time wasters. Don't do it. Don't do it. And that's one of the lessons I've learned.
Business. Myself, what have I learned this year?
Just excuse me while I go and shut this door, because Mia's decided to put her music on.
No worries. What have I learned, guys? What have you learned, guys? Anyone in the chat, anyone listening on all the platforms, what have you learned this from 2025?
What are you taking out of 2025 and what are you leaving in 2025? So, you know, you've learned lessons or you're taking something with you.
Yeah. It's for me, you know, it's all about business, time management and stuff. Like I always see potential in people, that they don't see in themselves. And I try to get out of a lot of people, and I try to get people, because I see some people and I think, good God, if you were just with a team or just part of the gang, sort of, you would do so much better. Like, but some people would just, it's like they just, in this social media world's come a thing of like, people think that someone's going to steal their spotlight, like, they're going to steal it, and that's ultimately what it is. Oh, I've got 50 loyal followers, I've got 10 loyal followers, like, no, sort of thing, whatever. And ultimately, you always see it on TikTok as well. Like, you see someone that's like a new face, they start getting quite a few people coming in, and then once the guys realize that they're not going, it's not going anywhere, they leave them, and then they end up with like 5 or 6 people in their chat. And it is what it is, but that's what I've learned. You can't always, not everyone sees your vision, and you just kind of have to just sort of step back a little bit sometimes, and just sort of like, just let things go, let things be.
I do think in this world there's a lot of jealousy when there shouldn't be, because there's enough out there for everybody. So it just shows you that some people are just very, very greedy. They may have made their thousands and thousands of pounds a month, but they're not satisfied with that. They want more, which is perfectly okay. But you don't have to step on those that are coming up to get it. But there are a lot of people that will. Obviously, I have found that out this year.
Yeah. Especially you being in this sort of the OF industry, like, there are going to be people that see what you're doing, see you've got a podcast, see you're doing all different types of stuff, and they will be threatened by it, and they will be jealous of it. And it's like, it's weird, like, it's really weird, because these people in really top positions, they're making big money, like serious money, like, so why are they, like, it's like it's like, oh, just stay down there, and they want to try and put you in the shadows. It's ultimately, it's because when you look at what most of them,
like they're threatened.
It's something different. Is you're doing something different, and there's more to it.
Yeah, I always say this. There's more strings to my bow, if you know what I mean. I'm not just a pretty face and a hot bum, if you know what I mean. I'm also, I like to talk. I like to discuss things. But there are those that are threatened by that, and they shouldn't be, because I would never be threatened by another woman. But I think that's a matter of insecurities and being confident in myself and what I've got to give out. Whereas I think they feel very, very insecure, and that's all I can take from it. That's me being nice and medicated saying that.
Okay, we've got some videos.
Say it that way.
We've got some videos to review. Trigger warning, guys. We do have some sort of videos that people might find distressing. Let's go with this one, because this one's quite an interesting one. This is a woman being confronted by another woman about being a bit too hands-on, and this woman's sort of attitude. And I want you guys to reverse the roles here. Imagine a guy was standing here saying exactly what this woman was saying.
Grabbing people's dicks. You can't do that, baby.
I do what I want.
No, baby, you can do what you want, but don't sexually assault
You
people.
piss me off. You think you're dramatic, but you're full
I'm
of
not
shit.
dramatic. What's
Yes, you're full of shit.
Because I told you sexually
Now
assault
you're
someone.
dramatic. I do what I want.
What do you do what you want? You can't just grab someone's dick like that, baby. He doesn't like that.
I do what I want.
Yeah, but if someone pulled the wig off your head...
So
and
what
ripped
do
your
you
clothes,
want
you're not
from
gonna
me?
like
What
that.
do you want from me?
You're
not the soul of the mother.
Okay. Can you imagine a drunk guy standing there saying, I do what I want, I can grab a woman by her bits, kind of like Donald Trump kind of style? Can you imagine the outrage from that?
I've seen it. I know it happens, but I also know the women are just women are quite aggressive.
Much worse.
They literally go for the grab,
but they don't feel. The worst part is when women touch men, they don't feel that they're doing anything wrong.
Well, not all of them, because I do. Like I've told you, I'm quite handsy when I'm talking. We've noticed that, and if I accidentally touch anything I shouldn't, I'm like, oh, and I make a bigger deal of it. And as anybody, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't mean to do that. But that is actually quite vile, because like you say, if you change the role, the roles, and if that was a guy touching a woman and that was her boyfriend, her boyfriend sort of saying, you can't do that, there'd be all out war. There would be all out war. There'd be brawls everywhere, and the women would expect it. But you can't just go around grabbing men's bits.
Yeah, but women will still, like, even though we've said that it's morally wrong, women will still continuously go out, get drunk, and if they see a guy that they like, especially if they're a good-looking woman as well, they'll do what they want, like, and the perception is from men is that, oh, they should be grateful for me to have the to be broke, basically. It's
That's
almost
that
quite
pretty privilege again.
it's almost quite narcissistic as well, really, isn't it,
Yeah,
really?
it is. It's that pretty privilege, that entitlement. I can do what I want. I can grab what I like. It's still sexual assault. And in 2025, you should know this now, right? Anything is sexual assault now, more or less. Like you say, there was a guy that saved a woman in the street. Can you remember? She was crossing the road. He pulled her back, and now he's being done for assault.
Yeah, and she's suing him, and she's at the
Yeah,
American
she's suing him for assault.
Yeah, that's insane.
And this is 2025, and people go, "Oh, well, that's America." Listen, it's coming over here as well.
Yeah.
People are suing. People are saying no. People are going to the police, and the police are that. Well, no, the laws in this country are that silly. Just lately, people are getting convictions, and it's ruining people's lives. You've got to understand this. You get a conviction for sexual assault of any kind, you're on a list.
Yeah.
That's on a DBS check. That's your life over. So in 2025, don't go into people's personal space. It's not right. And also the excuse of, I was drunk.
Yeah. Well, talking about entitled women, we've got another entitled woman that thinks it's okay to lay the law down to her husband. Let's have a look and see this.
I'm not going to get a job because I take care of our children. The kids are at school for 8 hours a day. I'm just so sick and tired of being with a broke ass man, honestly. All of our friends have so much more money than us. Their houses are nicer. They have nicer things. Like, I've been telling you for years that, like, I want you to pamper me. I deserve to be treated like I'm a queen, and you're not doing that.
I work all day, every day. I provide you with this fucking place, right?
But it's not enough.
Then get a job
too. I'm not going to get a job because I take care of our children.
The kids are at school for 8 hours a day. What are you taking care of?
As the man of the house is to be taking care of your family, to provide for your family. I should not have to do any of that.
Yeah, I think we get the gist of where that's going. And, there are men out there that generally are working hard to please a woman like that. And
it's embarrassing.
You go. What?
No, and I just find it embarrassing. And I'll say this as well, because I'm in the mood to be bitchy. She's not even got pretty privilege.
No.
No, do you know she's not a 10. She hasn't got a right to be sitting on the sofa dressed the way she is, telling her man to go out and get a second job or work harder or do this because they're not keeping up with the Joneses. You're an embarrassment to women. But then there are those women nowadays that have that entitlement because, like you say, they can go on the internet and they've got like hundreds of men in their DMs telling them they're beautiful and telling them they're this. He's actually pulled her up because he's found a Tinder profile. He's found her Tinder profile. That's the bit you didn't see. And he shows you what's on her Tinder. And she says, and that's why I've made a Tinder profile. Now, I don't advocate for divorce or breaking up a family. Now, there's children involved here. But in this case, I would, because that's abuse to that man. That's actual mental abuse. And I've said this before. You and I have talked about this quite a lot. Men are being sort of told they are failures on a daily basis from the red pill community, from the ATs of this world, the whole of social media. If you haven't got a McLaren, you're not doing it. If you haven't got hundreds of women, you're not doing it. And then those ones that we've said, just go and find a woman. Just go and keep, and then they're getting it from her as well. I think that's disgusting.
Yeah.
What would you do in that situation if that was your partner and she's telling you you're not doing enough? Bearing in mind, I know what you actually do.
I think
you do loads.
there are women out there like that are very entitled, that think they deserve to be treated like a princess, like, they deserve to be hand pampered and don't intend to help, like, contribute to the sort of the vision. Just, oh yeah, you keep working, and then you've got some poor guy, just working hard just to sort of please and just sort of look after the house. And most men will do that anyway. Most men will go do a job, work hard, grind, and come home and do their bits. And when they get back, they don't necessarily get the sort of the flowers that you would get from
recognition.
The recognition from a like we've been saying, Western women, like say like South American women or a Mexican women, like a Mexican relationship. The guy can literally be working at Taco Bell, come home, and his woman will treat him like a king. Like Western women, guy comes back from a hard grind, hard job, like busting shelves or whatever, and sometimes sometimes it gets put in their face. Oh, you're just doing this, you're just doing that. Like, I can do way better. Like, that woman's got a profile, so she's obviously ready.
She's already looking.
She's already monkey branching, as they say.
Yeah, she's already viewing the next victim, because I am going to say that is a victim. That's absolutely disgusting, Bruddc. I can't.
The sad thing about that is they got kids. They've got kids.
Exactly.
So it's easier said, like as the guys say, it's cheaper to keep her. Like, so some guys will be putting up with absolute hell just to keep the family dynamic together, because if he thinks about it, if he does leave and says, right, you get out, it's done, he's probably going to lose half the house, and he's probably going to have to fight for access to get his kids. Like, so that most men, I'm telling you, don't want to do that, don't want to go in that situation, they don't want to be there. So
she does look like the sort that would use children as a weapon. She really, really does. And I'm sorry if I'll also say this, it also looks a bit sketchy to me, if you know what I mean. It looks a bit...
Yeah,
I don't trust many things these days on social media, because
you do have to bear things with a pinch of salt when you do see these stories and stuff. But you can use the guide. Oh, for sure, there's people out there like that.
Sure. We know that these situations are happening, so that I think that's... But I am so embarrassed by women. Maybe it's because I'm older and I'm of an old school sort of value. And I've said to you time and time again, if I met a guy and he was a cleaner, it wouldn't, and I fell in love, it wouldn't bother me, but I would expect him to move up the ladder. But I would help that, if you get what I mean. I'd be there, maybe doing one of the cleaning jobs with him. I don't expect these things.
Oh, you still there? I'm all out of love.
And go and do it yourself. Like you said, you've got 8 hours a day. You can go out and do something. Go and make your own money. You don't have to work 4 hours a day. That's enough to go and get your nails done and everything, isn't it?
Yeah, take anything to take the pressure off the guy, I think, because that's... You gone, are you? Oh god, I'm gonna have to remove you again and come back in. Okay, let's see. Remove from scene. Are you sure you want to remove this? Yes. Let's kick speaker, and then hopefully I can get you back. If not, we'll go back over. We'll stay on TikTok. Sorry guys, live TV. Sometimes we get these issues. I'm all out of love. Any New Year's resolutions, guys? Let's hear these New Year's resolutions from you guys over here. I'm all out of love. I'm so loved about you. Oh, I could hear my voice back there. It didn't sound good. Why does it always sound better when you're doing it by yourself? Like, when there's music.
Because it does. And car concerts are just the best.
Yeah, it always sounds better. Like, I had Old Lang Syne popping last night.
Sorry, we've got somebody on TikTok. Okay. Verbal assault, freedom of speech, hurty words. No, it's not. Mistook marriage contract for a business contract. Exactly. A marriage contract is a contract as such, isn't it? Yeah. Which I accept, but I don't think it's fair to verbally attack somebody because you don't think they're doing enough. I think if you don't think they're doing enough, then you get up off your arse and you do as much as to create a better world. You don't sit there.
Something to help. The thing is, like, if you're in a relationship and your partner's working, you're working even as well, and you want more things, there's a way of putting pressure. There's a way of putting pressure on both of you equally together, just saying, right, we need to figure this out. We need to try to do a little business here. We need communication. That way you're in it together. But when it's just the women putting pressure on a guy, like, come on, you need more, you need more, you need more. And some guys are very happy just going to work, coming home, giving their wife their pay packet and saying, right, look, you sort what you can out. I'm done basically for the day. Can I get a hot bowl of soup and a foot rub?
Yeah, I don't know whether I say it again. I don't know whether it's my age, but if I was a stay-at-home mum, which I would love to be sometimes, I would love to be that, trophy wife. And he was going out and working, all ways every day. I'd have no right, in my mind, to pick on him, to say, but this is the breakdown of the nuclear family. I stand by it. It's easier to go on to the grass is greener on the other side, to the better man, to the more good looking man, to the more successful man, than it is to work on your marriage and your family life and create this wonderful nuclear family.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, they say, we don't want the children to grow up in a toxic atmosphere. Well, don't let it be toxic.
Yeah.
Work on not being toxic. I think that's something people need to do.
Yeah, for sure. We got a New Year's resolution to lose weight, get fit, get a job, and sort my life out.
Fabulous. Do it one at a time. Make a list. Do it one bit at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't go for big numbers. And remember, it's called fitness, not thinness.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. We're gonna see so many people. You're already starting to see these people walking around with just really sort of just skinny people. You're just influx of them. I don't know if you've said. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, just loads of actors and stuff that have just literally, you just see their faces and they're just like, whoop. Yes, my husband's New Year resolution was to stop smoking. He lasted until 2:30 this afternoon. Wow.
Yeah, but if he goes till 3:30 tomorrow and then 4:30 the day after, tell him to do that. Try that.
Yeah.
And it's psychological. You just do it an hour at a time. Before you know it, you won't want one. I'm not saying it'll work, but maybe try that.
Yeah, smoking's always smoking, gambling, drinking, eating. Probably one of the most dangerous ones, but the most not so dangerous in a way, because it's like, just eating is,
what you need.
Yeah, you do need to eat, overindulging and stuff, but
I think, unfortunately, today we're going back to the waif look, which I don't like. I don't like it. I don't like the fact I like a bit of meat on the bones. And we saw it at the Glamour Awards, didn't we? Obviously, the lady that is Katie Price, that just doesn't. And I saw a picture of the other day and her face looks knackered, and that's the only way to describe it. It's not pretty. It's not sexy. There's nothing sexy about that look, that gaunt, ill, drawn look. It's not sexy.
I don't think we want to be pushing that on children either, because you'll get children that are you'll get young girls that are fine, they're I think the big batty thing is the big boot, having a nice thick booty is obviously always never going anywhere, but still you'll get some people that are looking at these celebrities thinking, I need to be skinny like that, I need to be skinnier and stuff, and that won't go down well.
People in the public eye need to be better role models. I will say this, and again, I'll say to you, it's called fitness, not thinness. You want to get fit. It's totally different to losing weight. Losing weight, okay, yeah, it does save lives, but do it gradually, do it healthily, but increase exercise because of your mental health as well.
But if you were a bigger woman at one stage, so can you imagine the people that are losing the weight and thinking, wait a minute, this weight's all dropping off. You're gonna have a lot of skin sometimes as well, but all the weight's dropping off and stuff, so it's really difficult, isn't it, to say that to people?
And it looks horrendous. I've told you, and I'll admit it, I've got a great esthetician, right? She works with me. I've lost weight, so it's quite easy for the face to drop. But because I work with her and I do everything I can, I eat healthy, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do all of these things because it's all aging. Yeah. So I really, really work to... I've realized that you put bad into your body, your body's going to look bad. Yeah. So, but we've got to feed it as well with nutrients, with vitamins. Don't forget that we do need these things. And unfortunately, things like vitamin D, we don't get naturally in this country.
Yeah, I think with like, you know, because there are people that have lost weight, like severe weight, and don't have the baggy skin, and they tend to be the people like David Goggins is a classic example. Like, you know, you see that guy, you know,
Mm.
if you see how big he was before, oh, someone's put Ariana Grande ruined her looks. Yeah, I don't know what she's done to herself. Like, I think she's gone into some weird cult as well. She's just gone really weird,
Yeah.
really emotional. Her and that Cynthia
I was just about to say, her and that Cynthia have got this weird relationship, haven't they?
yeah, something dodgy is going on over there. Let's move on to our next video. What we going with? This is quite a nice one actually. This is the one with Shaq, and he's
Yeah.
talking about his stepdad and stuff, like, you know, and
Something
biological
we've
dad.
talked about as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so important to get two sides of the story sometimes. But let's hear old Shaq. Oh, can we hear old Shaq? Oh god,
No.
we can't hear old Shaq. Were you able to hear him on the videos I sent you? Obviously.
No, I don't think I did. I read it.
Okay.
Basically, he's saying, isn't he, that he had a great stepfather.
Yeah, a great stepfather, and they were no, because I think the reporter asked him, "Do you ever want to reach out and try and find your biological dad?" And he says, "Nah, you know, that'd be disrespectful to my father. My father's the one that looked after me and taught me everything and made me what I am. Like the biological dad, you know, he's the one that left me basically, and you know, that's quite nice to hear actually."
I think a lot of the times it's easy to villainize the step parents, and I'm
Oh
going to
yeah,
say both step parents because, you know, mums get it as well. Having been a stepmom or still a stepmom to children, it's a really difficult situation to be in because you are not biologically their parent. And don't forget, like we were talking about yesterday, it's quite, the first thing those kids go for is the jugular.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you're not my mom, you're not my dad, sure.
yeah,
And I think we have to be humble in this situation and remember that these are children that are hitting out at us.
yeah.
And I am so grateful that Shaq has got somebody like this in his life that has obviously molded him and manipulation is a wrong word, but sort of just molded him into a great person.
You do wonder when you say manipulation on the, you know, as it slips off your tongue there, you do wonder whether there is a slight bit of manipulation that goes in there, you know, because children, you can play with their brains. Like, they're very easy to manipulate children. Like, you know, if you're providing, it's very easy to make, I'm not saying this happened. And he obviously was a good person, you know, he came in, looked after the mum and raised them up and whatever, brought them up a good way and stuff. But it's very easy to be like, throw little digs in, oh, your dad wasn't there for you, you know, oh, I'm looking after you, oh, I'm paying this for you, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's very easy for like, you know, as a young vulnerable child, when you're younger and you think, oh, wait a minute, this guy's looking after me, he's the man, like, basically, you know. So
I will say this, right? Again, I come from a point of I've done this or I'm doing this. And the one thing I made a rule about was never, ever to slag their parent off in any way, shape or form, for the simple reason that children are very, very vulnerable. They hit out, and the first thing they're going to hit out is the parent that's not biological. So one of the things I really, really made a point of doing was trying to make friends with the mum and say, look, I'm not here to do this, I'm not here to do that, I'm here to help you and, you know, help guide the thing. It was very, very responsible of me. Had I have done it 20 years ago, probably completely different.
Yeah, hindsight's a fine thing, and as we get older, we get wiser, and we just can't be asked for the drama, and, you know, we just don't want it. One thing we've been speaking about a lot is domestic violence, and when we hear domestic violence, we think straight away some savage man. And, you know, there's been some horrible videos that I've seen lately, but this is just one. I'm only going to show a few bits of it, but trigger warning, guys.
Here we go again. Oh, you sick bastard! Answer me. Answer. No, you abuse me with your words. You're fucking with me. Why?
I want to go outside.
Why are you fucking with me?
I want to go outside.
Answer. My blood pressure.
I want to go outside.
Answer me.
I want to go outside. I want to go outside.
Answer me. Why are you doing this to me?
I want to go outside. Please stop. Please
Look
stop.
into my eyes.
Please stop.
Look into my eyes.
Please stop.
Why are you doing this to me?
Please stop. Please
I
stop.
can't breathe.
Please stop.
Why are you doing this?
Please stop.
I can't breathe. You're doing this to me.
Esther, please stop.
Can we leave? I can't be here.
I want you to please stop.
What do you want for?
Yeah. So that's kind of the other side, guys. There are women out there that are just as evil as men, and there are men going through some of these things on a day-to-day basis that doesn't get the limelight. There's no refuge. There's no refuges for men. Like, you know, they're women only, these refuges. And it's a difficult situation.
It is, because men don't like to talk about it as well. They who wants to say that they've been beaten up by their wives? Who wants to say that their partners hit them? To the men mostly, that it sort of takes away their masculinity. Excuse me, and it's awful. It's awful. I will say this. I thought maybe she had a mental health issue, because she was screaming about, you've said something, and he was like, I haven't said anything. And it makes me wonder whether that is not an excuse. That is not an excuse. And if she can do that to you, she can do that to children. So get out, get an exit plan, and get
Yeah.
yourself out. No
Yeah.
one can save her but herself. And one of the things you and I have agreed on, we're going to champion sort of domestic violence this year. We're going to talk about it a lot, and we're not going to hide away that the fact that women can be perpetrators as well.
Indeed.
Not only men.
Indeed. What have you put there? Thing is, you can't stop a bloke if he wants to attack, but you can stop a woman. Really? You can't.
The thing is, if she's as far gone as she is there, if he was to grab hold of her, she would go to the police, and in her mind, because she's that far gone, she will say, he attacked me. And she'll probably have wrist marks where he's had to grab her, and before you know it, he's on an assault charge.
Yeah, and especially in America as well, they're always going to believe the woman. Like, you know, they're always going to believe, unless you better have. Yeah, you're right. Hurt people do hurt people. We've spoken a lot about that, like, you know, over the last year and stuff.
What I will say is that, again, I think there's mental health issues there. I just saw something, and I was like, it's not an excuse. It's a reason why she's doing what she's doing, but it's not an excuse. And I've had to learn that lesson a lot over the years.
Yeah.
You know, you sit there and you say, like, somebody's got this mental health issue and that's why they did what they did. Yes, it is. But it doesn't take away the accountability of what they've done to you. They need to apologize. They need to, if they get better, they can't just walk back into your life and go, I'm all right now.
How do we know that he's? Let's have a look at that. How do we know that he's not been sending her crazy behind the scenes? See, the thing is, I don't think that's a good argument. Like, you know, because, like, you know, if you've got someone that, you know, in relationships, sometimes you have a partner that likes to make jokes or whatever, maybe he's a bit flirty or whatever, you know, it doesn't give the woman the right to start punching lumps out of him, because if you justify that, because when you say, how do you know he's not, you know, winding her up behind the scenes? Imagine a woman. Imagine just flipping that round. The woman, like, I'm saying to a woman, look, you're winding him up. That's why he's beating you. That would never be used for justification. Never be used. Would you use that for justification if it was a woman? If I was sitting there saying to a woman, well, your boyfriend beats you because you wind him up.
I've had it said to me. What did you do? You know, when I'm sitting there with lumps out of my face, and they were like, what did you do? What did you say? I opened a door, or I looked at him funny, or I looked at the wrong person.
What do you think about that last comment? What do you think about the last comment?
I do agree that there are situations where that is happening, and I know of situations where the bloke has literally pushed, and when you've hit out and you've gone crazy, they've gone, look, see, it's you. And I understand, but there's no excuse for raising your hands and laying hands if that's the situation. But hindsight, I'm 53. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. In my 20s, I probably would have swung. I probably would have thrown hands. I probably did throw hands in my 20s, 30s. But here I am in my 50s.
I won't be disagreeing with you then. Yes, I've used the weapon too. I take it this was in a DV situation. This was kind of like a victim sort of standing them up, I want to believe that you was, obviously you said you was in a DV situation for a long time, and that does tend to happen. A woman does get to a point where she does lash out, and I totally understand that. If you're being abused, no one's saying you should be sticking around to let someone abuse you and to fight back. There's obviously that, but I think
You
you just
find with perpetrators like that, the moment you do that is the moment they become the coward, and they take you to court and they say,
yeah.
look, and this is I think what she's talking about. This is when it's turned on its head and say, this is all you. That's a real narcissistic trick.
Yeah, eccentric lady, would you like to come up and just sort of run through some of this stuff? Because you've been contributing quite a bit to the chat. This is an interactive show, guys, and we do like to get people's fresh opinions. You don't have to come up with your camera; you can literally just come up with your voice. Yeah, just go to our YouTube channel, and there's a link in the chat. You just click it, and it will. The ladies still do what? I know a lot of people. Some of the comments a bit worried because I don't want to go over the top.
Yeah, don't trigger yourself, babe.
No, 100%. Obviously, we're this, like, you know, like we always say, we're not challenged. Well, we will obviously, you know, we will have a conversation, but we don't sort of try to challenge we don't try to get those gotcha moments when we're speaking with people. You know, it's just more or less just hearing your point of view. That's kind of like what we like to do. And, you know, if maybe one of us has got a different perspective, like, you know, that might, you know, make you think differently, I don't know, but we're not here to change your mind. We're just here to listen and actually get your point of view.
What I will say is everybody's situation is different to everybody else. There's no two situations that are exactly the same. Nobody on this show would judge you for how you handled what you had to handle, because at the time you had no choice but to deal with it the way you dealt with it. So remember that. Nobody has the right to judge how you behaved at that particular moment when you felt that your life was on the line. Yeah. So please don't ever beat yourself up for what you've done, and I hope you don't. And I'm assuming you don't.
So I suppose to clarify my thinking here is, because obviously when she said that, you know, people can be pushed to a limit to sort of act out in violence, like, you know, so, like, you know, I wasn't thinking about it from your perspective, and that's obviously where you were speaking from, being in an abusive relationship where someone's beating you, then you've just got to a point where you can't take it anymore and you've lashed out. That's totally understandable. I understand that. But when people see it, I think some people will just see it thinking, oh, he's wound her up, or he's wound her up, and then she's decked him. Like, you know, people are going to start thinking that, and yeah.
I will say this. I mean, I never hide anything from you guys because I tell you the truth. I've got borderline personality disorder, and I was in DV, and I was in situations where I was getting abuse, and then one day I'd snap. Yeah. Now, when you've got borderline personality disorder, when you snap, you go into this spiral and you don't know what you're doing. And I know, like you, eccentric lady, that I am capable of very, very bad things. It's one of the reasons that I'm medicated. It's one of the reasons that I don't like myself sometimes. But I was pushed to a limit. And that is why I'm saying nobody can judge anybody's situation. I don't think Bruddc was, and I'm not saying that you were, babe. I'm just saying nobody can judge what was happening at that situation. And to this day, the guy that did it still says it was all me. It's all her. She's absolutely. And then when he found out I had a diagnosis, he went, "See, I told you she was nuts." He never said what he was doing, you know, like taking my clothes, taking my jewelry, going out, sleeping around, doing this, doing that. Never mentioned any of that. What he did say was the day that I turned on him, the day that I went absolutely crazy and lost it, that's the moment he talks about. Yeah. But that's a coward for you, because then he had no power over me because he knew that.
It's kind of like that video that we showed last year where that the police turn up to that old couple's house, and she's like, the police say to the old lady, "Where's your husband?" And she's like, "He's in there. I've stabbed him 50 times or something like that, and I hope he sort of, you know, goes or whatever." And the policemen are like, "What have you done?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, and he's still, you hear the police say he's still breathing, and then like they try and resuscitate, and she's very sort of, she's like, leave him, let him rot, basically. And
you can see the conditioning in her face. I mean, I can remember the video you're talking about, and I think I'd seen a documentary on it as well. Yeah. And she had spent years and years and years of abuse with this man, and he just literally ground her into the ground to the point where she just snapped.
Yeah, for sure.
And I understand those moments more than most, because like I say, I've lived it, and it's horrible, because when you come out of it, and if you're a nice person like most of us are, you're quite ashamed of what you've done. I know I was. I mean, I've told you some of the things I've done, and I've just gone, oh, do you know what? I'm disgusted with my situation. But in that particular moment, it's horrendous. One of the things, right? It's really funny. I watched a video today, and it triggered me.
Yep.
Just reminded me of a story, and it was this a guy in Nottingham that had been stabbed 20 times, and he was on somebody's doorstep, and the woman was on the phone to the police, and she's saying, he's outside my door, I'm not going out, he's saying he's been stabbed. It turns out he had been stabbed 20 times, and the police come, and I think they lost him. But you know, and people were in the comments saying to this woman, well, you should have gone out and tried to stem that bleeding. You should have tried to stem that bleeding. And I'm going to say this, it triggered me because years ago, you know, I've always got a story. Similar thing happened to me. Somebody knocked on my door at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, I've been stabbed. Can you let me in, please? I need the police. So I rang the police and the ambulance and said, you need to get here straight away. And he was like, don't call the police. Just let me do it. Let me do it. And I was like, no. And I've got the door shut, and I would, you know my history, you know why my door was shut, and you know why it was locked. So I'm on the phone to the police, and I'm like, you need to get here now, there's somebody been stabbed. Turns out he was trying to get in my house. So I understand more than anybody. So what I'm saying to people is, don't judge the story that you see, because sometimes behind the
self-preservation is always first. Like, you know, you can't, especially if you've got kids in the house, as much as you want to help, someone knocking on the door, you just open the door to the wrong person and you're in big trouble. Like, you know, you've seen that UPS story, the UPS drivers that broke into the house and, you know, unalived the family.
A woman on her own is so vulnerable, and this is, and apparently he'd seen me walking around the streets and thought, you know, and that's what he was trying to do. And obviously the police turned up really quick. And when the police said to me, why didn't you open the door? And I said, oh, I've got history in this house. And they looked at the history of the house, and they went, well, we can see why you didn't open the door. Do you know what I mean? They went, but good on you, because it's possibly saved your life. So before you make these comments, people, and you say anything, just think maybe on the other side, balance it out a little bit. I mean, there's nobody needs to be throwing hands on anybody. Domestic violence is never the answer. Like I've said, you can't save them. Please don't try and save them.
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because, you know, there is the perception out, like, I'm not going to say this, there's a perception out there when it comes to women, especially when you get to a certain age, and especially when they've got responsibilities, like in terms of the house, running a house, women can get very frustrated, let's just say. And sometimes it could be something silly, like, you know, you just snap because someone hasn't taken their laundry down for the last time, and you see women just sort of start, you know, lashing out. It's mainly women that do that. But I suppose that's got to be condemned as well. Like, you know, it doesn't matter how many times he's left his socks in the bed and all the rest of it. You've just turned around
on the toilet.
You know, you know what I mean? It's just these are the kind of things that do tend to see. We laugh about it, but can you imagine if a guy was sitting there saying he bloody bashed a woman on the head because she left the socks in the bed? Like, you know, we're thinking this guy's a monster. So this is what we have to do. We have to keep it fair and keep it balanced, guys.
Nobody is saying that anybody is in the right or the wrong. What we're saying is domestic violence is never the answer. Hitting somebody is never the answer. If you feel that this person is mentally abusing you to the point where you're going to explode, make an exit plan. Get yourself away. Record what he's doing as well, so that you have evidence, because obviously
that's a big thing at the minute. People are recording, like, you know, especially men. People are recording. People are like, domestic. Well, wait a minute. As soon as we get into now, I'm gonna get my phone. Look, I ain't touched her. And sometimes for good reason. You've got the woman saying he's trying to kill me and all this sort of stuff, and the guy's got the camera and he's like, look, guys, you can see exactly what's happening. Like, you know, and without that video, you're finished, mate. You know, a woman, there's one, I think I sent it to you, was meant to show it to you. A woman, she wakes up in this guy, apparently she just woke up in this guy's apartment, and she was like, he's scaring me, I don't know what he's done, and blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, he's recording her, and like, if you're a woman and you wake up half naked in a guy's house, you're not going to have the guts to start hitting that person. And if you've got an opportunity, you're just going to get out or lock yourself in an isolated space and stuff.
Before I said hello, I've got an Uber on the way. Do you get what I mean? If I've got that drunk or that I'm in that state where I'm getting out of there, and then I'll make up my mind of what I'm going to do. But again, hindsight, I'm 53. You can say these things now, but when you're 20 and you're 30 and you're waking up in strangers' houses and you don't know how you got there, it's quite scary. And as we know, there are things that can be put in drinks, and maybe that guy didn't do it, but took advantage of it, and this is the situation. We know it happened.
Yep. All right, Katie, do you want to come over to the TikTok and we'll spend 10
Yeah.
minutes in here just in case people want to come up in and stuff. Peace and love to YouTube, guys. We're going to be on exclusively on TikTok.